welcome to episode number 3 of The List. This is your host, Daniel French. And for those of you who don't know, The List is a conversational improv game where each member has a list of topics and or phrases that they are to slip into the conversation that falls under the great grand topic of the day, which is F. Leonardo da Vinci, Socrates, Amy Winehouse, and Dawg the Bounty Hunter started a business together. What would it be? The floor is open.
Well, I think they could put together a real great nightclub. Dawg the Bounty Hunter, he could be the bouncer. Amy Winehouse, entertainment. Socrates, he would make one hell of a bartender, I think. Bartenders ought to be philosophers.
I didn't think of that.
And then Da Vinci, as a diversely talented fellow, he could be the overall manager. He was an architect. He could design the place. And sort of a neo-Renaissance nightclub.
Ooh.
Like creation of
All right, there's different kinds of nightclubs. Are we talking about a piano bar? Are there bands? Is this
It's going to be
I'm
a high
thinking
dome
dark
place
gothic.
with a big old, mural on the ceiling.
Oh yeah, actually with the mural, what if it was like creation of Adam, except like God is handing Adam a beer?
Oh my god.
That would be awesome. Or joint, something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I think a beer would work better. Broader audience would like that more.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes beer.
Although it could be a joint,
It could be. It could be.
a DMT pipe.
There you go.
Do we want this hypothetical club to deal with illegal drug smuggling?
I think that would be an exemplary situation for the 4 of them, because think of the connects they could make across the country.
That's true.
And to get whatever kind of illegal drug they wanted to smuggle. The cartels that they could hook up with. And with Leonardo da Vinci thinking of the ways to smuggle said drugs from that place to this place.
There was a thing where Leonardo da Vinci and I can't remember who else it was, but they were trying to steal goods from this one. Okay, I'm going to be very vague here because I don't remember all the facts.
We'll fill it in.
But they were trying to divert goods from this river. So they literally tried to move the river by
Making a
changing.
sandbar.
Yeah, by changing the flow, and it totally didn't work. But that river is in the background of the Mona Lisa painting because he never got over it. So see, he could do something like that to funnel the drug trade.
Maybe Da Vinci could hide the drugs behind his paintings.
Oh.
They're always discovering crap behind.
I think there'd be a
old
period of
paintings.
time where they'd have to get over the fact that he would be obsessed with the invention of helicopters.
Yes.
And they'd have to realize that, no, you're going to get busted if you use helicopters.
Actually, if we want to get technical here, how exactly are we talking about the motive of them all getting together? Like, how exactly have they all gotten together? Is it like a time machine? Is it like
Maybe they met
No,
in a bar.
well, yeah, they're obviously all not dead.
Maybe it's like a...
And yeah, as far as
Bill
time
and Ted
period
brings
goes,
them together.
I thought I'd leave that up to you guys. It could be now, as we're kind of talking about. It could be back in Socrates' time. It could be in Leonardo da Vinci's time.
You know what would be really cool? If it was Dawg the Bounty Hunter and then just, all the others as ghosts.
Oh, I
helping
would
him.
watch that show.
Right?
Whoa, that's
sitcom?
They don't have to be alive.
Right. Totally.
Good thinking outside the box. The mortal coil.
Oh, but that leaves my whole Amy Winehouse being like the Monty Harry spy kind of creature out of it. I was thinking, especially since we said drug smuggling goes, that's how she gets into, the bosses of the bosses.
I don't know if she's a ghost. She might be able to do that even better.
Yeah.
It's
Depends
even
on
easier, right?
Your thoughts of ghosts, yeah.
Right.
How
Like,
real
can she
can
move
they
things?
look?
I don't know.
I think they can move things.
All
yeah.
right.
And this
then there's
because if we're doing
possibilities.
Socrates as the bartender in this scenario, then yeah, so they can move things. They're just dead.
And are they like the Ghostbusters ghosts? Where, the librarian one from the first
Sure,
Ghostbusters?
why not?
She had a normal face and then she could get all scary and stuff. Maybe
Yes.
just scare off people.
Why not?
Or,
That makes
Why
the
not?
ghosts
Yes.
even better.
Totally.
I always thought Socrates would be the problem in the group. He'd be the one that would be like, oh, we can't do this because
The moral compass.
He'd be like the Morty to that group, I don't know, Amy, I feel like we should really think about the.
And if it was like a regular corporation kind of business, think of like the Christmas party, and Socrates is just, they're like, who's this Jesus guy? What's with this Christmas crap?
He's really taking my ideas, man. Plagiarism everywhere.
The problem with Dawg being a bouncer at a nightclub, though, would be like, wouldn't he want to get up and do stuff? I mean, he's a bounty hunter. They do stuff all the time.
I think he would almost kill business because he'd be into like, oh, that guy moved the wrong way, and he'd kick the dude's ass. It's like, dude, we're losing money. Every time we have people in here spending money, you kick their ass.
I feel like that's part of the experience, though.
But I
like,
don't think,
I'd pay to get kicked out of a bar by Dawg the Bounty Hunter.
I don't think it would go down that way.
That's a very like TMZ kind of mindset. Like, I'd pay good money to get my ass kicked by this guy.
But the thing
Because
is,
he's
the Dawg the Bounty Hunter is, if I understand his like persona correctly, the dude is a really big like biker style kind of person, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at him and he's intimidating as all hell, but he's a hardcore Christian, and every time he goes to get one of the bad guys, he spends time talking to them and tries to talk them into, into just giving
We wouldn't want
themselves
him
up.
trying to
And he tries
convert
to
everybody
convert
on the
them
way
if they're
in.
on drugs, and he tries to, get them to see the light, and he tries to make them good people. So,
I mean, it seems like
Dawg the Bounty Hunter is not this big tough guy that actually goes
my
around
God.
beating everybody up. He's
They can
actually
start-
the opposite of that.
They could start a religion and start their own church, and Dawg the Bounty Hunter would be the pastor.
There you go.
That's
there you go.
interesting.
There you go.
Oh, wow. I like
With Amy
that.
Winehouse
Is
leading
in the choir.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiVinci building the church and making it all beautiful.
And Socrates outside being like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, Daniel, just to clarify, would it also be a business venture, considering like what business?
All religions are
Every
business
church is a
ventures.
business venture.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
don't
Yeah, that's what I'm
You're an
saying.
idiot.
I mean, like,
Tax exempt.
We should be taxing
getting your
churches.
customers to give them $1 each Sunday.
Yeah, my idea is like it's an even more complicated version of Scientology. Like instead of like all this L. Ron Hubbard stuff, it's just all these guys getting together like from different time periods and stuff, and just doing this strange kind of like thing.
You sure
With,
Scientology isn't the more complicated one? I mean, aliens and
Yeah,
bodies.
I mean,
Are we going to
They're all
talk about
crazy.
Scientology
Yeah,
again?
Scientology. I think if Socrates, Da Vinci, and Amy Winehouse came back from the dead to found their own religion, I think a lot of people would sign up.
Good.
And
People
people
don't come back from the dead every day.
Yeah.
Amy
I'd sign
Winehouse
on
is a
to
celebrity
somebody
face.
from the dead.
Also, Dawg. I mean, if you want to get into that demographic of people,
He's not dead yet, though.
I know, but like,
One
he'd
of these
still be
days.
there.
That's true. That's true. The like physical form
Yeah.
to lead us all.
You know, if people came back from the dead, people are going to go to wherever they are. They can start anything. They can start a cupcake shop, and people will be all like, "Oh, Amy Winehouse is there? Yeah,
You
sure."
know what would be really interesting? See, I like the ideas that everyone's coming up with like, all of their things on how that could be a business. But I'd like to see them do something totally average, like run an ice cream shop.
Or maybe a donut shop.
Wearing the little three-quarter
like-
hat.
in like
now we're in
Miami.
sitcom
about
territory.
A donut
dog
shop in
walking
Miami because
with ice cream. Donuts a la mode.
donuts and ice
Donuts
cream.
a la mode.
Donuts
Very
is
nice.
the perfect
I'll pay good
business
money
for
to
those guys.
See,
Donuts all
and
mode.
just to have them be there and like, because they're all like
God, we should
such
start that business
different
ourselves.
people.
And if they do the nightclub, I say it should be done in Portugal, because in Portugal there are no drugs have been legalized essentially, so no problems.
Every drug is illegal.
Legalized.
Every drug is legal.
In 2000, Portugal had like tons of people dying from drug overdoses, and they had been putting tons of money into it, and they were like, screw this, we're doing the opposite. So they stopped all drug enforcement, they stopped all that shit, they put all the money into prevention and clinics for people who want help. And they made needles available, whatever you wanted. And 17 years later, today,
I think Socrates
people do
would love
not
this
die
idea.
in Portugal from drug
Be all
overdoses.
over it.
It doesn't happen. So,
Like,
case
what's your
closed.
problem,
If you
motherfuckers?
want
We're
to
gonna
deal with the
party.
drug problem, legalize it. We have 17 years of proof in Portugal, case closed.
Little
I wonder-
known fact, Socrates was known
Or we can do a nightclub there.
for throwing the big orgies.
Really?
Suddenly, the nightclub idea is sounding more
Socrates could
interesting.
get it.
Suddenly, the church idea is more interesting.
Back in the day, those philosophers.
probably has more to do with Greek culture.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
thing. It was the thing.
See, you know what I want to know though. So like if Dawg the Bounty Hunter was a bouncer at this bar in Portugal, so since all these drugs are legal, I'm wondering if Dawg the Bounty Hunter would have a problem with that
probably
because
would.
it's legal.
Yeah.
But he's such like a hardcore Christian, good ethics.
Hopefully somebody
world.
would show him that, hey, this is the better way to go.
Just have to
Probably
slip
would've done
him
a
some
bounty hunt
drugs.
for like murderers
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
rapists
thinking.
and whatnot, you know?
Yeah, and what about the orgies too? I think Dawg is definitely like he's
gonna have the problem.
innocent,
Well, it would
sweet
be
one of the
Amy
group.
Winehouse's job to change Dawg's mind.
Bring him into the
And I
fold.
think she could do it.
Could the show be called Changing Dog?
Dog, we all love you. But
Changing breeds.
Chill the fuck
It's
out.
like a reverse intervention. You're trying to make him do
reverse
drugs. And
intervention.
That's right.
He doesn't have to do the drugs. He's just got to
He's just
Be
gotta
okay with it.
accept
Okay,
other
Yeah,
people.
he's just got to be okay with them not being illegal.
Yeah.
but doing the drugs is a bonus.
Okay, that's fair.
And Socrates
Not
would be like, it's
required.
all about the awakening, dude. We're trying to enlighten you.
Exactly.
would Dog quit his current job to do this, though?
Oh no, he'd still do this on the side.
Right, but then he would have to move his job to Portugal, and then who's he going to bounty?
Oh, no, they'd make so much money, he'd just hop on jet planes going back and forth wherever he had.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Dog International.
We can have the whole thing be in the Matrix. And so, like, Dawg will, be there with all the others in the Matrix.
Heck, with Leonardo da Vinci there in today's technology, he'd come up with some teleportation device.
There you go.
There you go. Do you know what else I think would be really interesting? Is all of these guys being like teachers in an elementary school?
What would the dog teach?
Wow, okay.
Self-defense or PE.
Left behind. We're opening a private school.
A private elementary school.
Oh, yeah.
Amy
that's how you make money.
Winehouse in charge of choir, obviously, music department. Dawg the Bounty Hunter. He'd either teach PE or he'd be the principal.
The principal. With security, man.
Totally.
Metal gates. Metal detectors.
Go
All nine
all
yards.
out. It would definitely be a private Catholic
Teachers
school.
carrying weapons. Ready for the shit to go down.
Weapons designed by Da Vinci.
There you go.
Socrates keeping it all open. You don't have to go to like this class and that class. And the Socrates would just be like, it's all going on at the same time. It doesn't matter how old you are or what grade you think you're in. Whatever you're interested in.
Wherever you want to
Hit
go.
it, baby.
Totally.
Which is the way it should be anyway.
Totally.
Being a teacher
Totally.
myself, it's like, come on, you idiots.
Yeah.
And parents like their kids being taught by ghosts. I mean,
Well, maybe they're not ghosts in this
I'm assuming you're
scenario.
not ghosts in that
Yeah,
one.
in this scenario
In this
where
scenario.
maybe it's more like
Time
They've been
mashup.
reincarnated.
they've been
It's a time
reincarnated.
mashup.
They've reincarnated and they remember all their past lives, and so it's just them.
Or actually, I just want to go back to Blake, actually, because he mentioned the whole thing where he said Socrates instead of Socrates. Bill and Ted, get them in the equation. Get them to bring everyone.
I mean, that's
to
how
this
we get them
place.
together, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you do it. In a phone booth, just bring them all to the school. That's essentially the plot of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure already.
It really is. The only problem,
Da Vinci.
In a phone booth.
the only problem is they won't.
Guess where you're going to school, kid.
Also, George Carlin has to be there to reprise his role.
Oh, you start adding other people into this. I got a list.
No. I say because he was in Bill and Ted. Remember? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good point.
George Carlin.
Rufus.
Yeah, he played Rufus. He's the guy
Rufus.
who brought them the
I
time
don't
machine.
think I've seen
He is
this.
one.
He was their mentor, master.
Don't say that.
Yeah, he was probably one of
Bill
my
and
favorite
Ted's
comedians
Excellent
when he was
Adventure.
I've
alive.
never seen it.
For
You
shame.
mix George Carlin with Leonardo da Vinci. we
go.
got something going on.
Premise of Doctor Who, but totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
And with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Keanu Reeves
super
as a
in.
surfer.
Yeah.
Okay,
and there's a
guys.
surfer dude where they go all the time.
I have.
Excellent to each other.
Yeah, they're excellent to each other, and it turns out in the future,
Don't spoil it.
Which is what Socrates
Yeah, don't
said.
spoil
He was
it.
like the inventor of that
I
phrase.
think it's okay to say what happens in the future, just not what happens during the movie.
Yeah, don't tell me what happens through the movie.
Bill and Ted's
But
Bogus
speaking-
Journey is pretty
okay,
great,
that was
too.
the best way to convince me to watch it though, because I literally have a Dalek on my keychain, and my car's name is Kino because it's a Toyota Matrix, and I matched Keanu Reeves with Neo.
He knew.
So that was the good way to get me to want to watch the movie.
But the car never opens because you put the key in it and it says key no.
But
Sorry, that was bad.
That was
pretty bad.
really
Wah,
bad.
wah.
That was the pity laugh, all of those.
We'll get rid of it in post.
Okay, the other option I had, one I thought of is because of I had foreseen this is like, are they alive now? Are they alive then, or whatever? I wanted to put them in the mid 1920s, East Coast America, prohibition, bringing up the kind of the drug smuggler thing.
Specialty
Great
beauty
Gatsby.
shop.
Oh, you just cut me off. Oh, bring that back in a minute. Bring that back in a minute. No, wait, man. They're freaking mobsters.
With the front of a specialty beauty
You know,
shop.
like Bugsy Malone, going, meow, you see?
Specialty beauty shop.
They're the
and they got the whole city out
let's
in
go
like
to
a
that.
grid.
Specialty beauty shop. Now, obviously, Amy Winehouse runs the beauty shop.
Oh,
She's
fuck
teaching
yeah.
these guys how to do this stuff.
Obviously, she's the front woman.
But think of the hairstyles.
I mean, have you seen Dog's hair?
Think of the hairstyles. Okay, you got Socrates coming up with hairstyles and makeup and whatnot. You got Leonardo da Vinci coming up with hairstyles and makeup.
Oh, I bet he'd do killer makeup.
You look like the Mona Lisa when you're done.
Faces and stuff,
Totally.
3D action going on.
Totally.
And Dawg bringing in that whole mullet 80s thing.
Big time. Big
They
time.
find a way to make the mullet good again.
That's their slogan.
Just bring back the original MacGyver. That's how you do it.
You don't think Dawg would be self-conscious with like a time period where everyone had these like nice clean cut hair and he's just there with a mullet and sleeves?
Honestly, if I was Leonardo da Vinci in a business with Dawg the Bounty Hunter, I think within like the 4th or 5th day, I would have killed Dawg the Bounty Hunter. I'd be asking Socrates, hey, you know all about like the good poisons and shit, dude, right? let's take
Socrates
this
drank
motherfucker
hemp.
out of the situation right now.
Drink what?
As soon as you said the 20s, though, I thought you were going to be like a Midnight in Paris sort of thing, except it's like this weird interdimensional bar or something like that. I don't know. Like,
Ooh, interdimensional! So Leonardo da Vinci has invented the teleportation device that goes into other dimensions, and people and creatures from different times and places in the other dimensions that are in the know can show up at this bar, at this club that we started out with. Now you got anybody you want showing up at this place because they're in the know and they know how to party. And it's like, oh, Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter, welcome back!
it's been too long, man. TV
I
sucks
miss
without you.
him.
It's too soon.
It's always too soon.
Do you know? Okay, do you
Think
know?
all the people that just died that would be there in the last year.
David Bowie,
Carrie
Alan
Fisher?
Rickman,
Prince.
Carrie Fisher.
Adam West.
Yeah.
I think David Bowie and Prince be renting a room together.
Yeah.
with Amy Winehouse.
With Amy Winehouse.
That would be really cool. I would
I'd pay
actually
to film that.
Going back to
just do a
Stanko
documentary on
Vision.
that.
Going
Dude.
back to Stanko.
And maybe that's what the four of them should do. Da Vinci, Socrates, Amy Winehouse, Dawg the Bounty Hunter, the weirdest
Porn.
porno ever.
Ever.
Bam.
Whoa.
There we go. No. Okay, you know what? You know what I'd like to know though is what their superpowers would be if they were in like a Marvel film.
Well, Dawg the Bounty Hunter obviously would have like super strength or something.
Super.
Okay, wait a minute. Before you go on with superpowers, I want to know: are they born with the superpowers, or did they live their lives the way that we know it, and somehow got these superpowers from gamma
I think,
rays?
I think
Yeah,
they should
Fantastic Four. They got gamma rays.
maybe Amy Winehouse was bitten by a radioactive producer.
Okay, now go on. I want to know each person's superpower, and I'm not giving any of them.
Amy Winehouse would probably have like a Black Canary kind of power, you know, super screech.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was
Yeah.
about to
Sonic.
say.
Yeah.
Literally, exactly.
Some sort of sonic boom that can cripple people.
I think she got it. I think there was. Let's see. But how did she get it though? Because I do like the radioactive producer, but I'm thinking something more of like someone was trying to kill her, and they put something in the mic, like some radioactive.
It gave her special powers.
Right,
Yeah.
trying to foil her career, but lo and behold, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
It did the opposite.
And then she can
And now
seek
she's out
revenge
for
on
Now she
those.
could super sing.
Exactly. And then let's see. Dawg the Bounty Hunter.
I'm sticking with super strength. I mean, look at the guy.
I
Yeah.
like
Screams.
super
It's too
strength.
obvious.
Sure, that's
Yeah.
that is really obvious. That is
Or we could go for some kind of like tracking power. you know?
That's true.
I mean, we
'Cause
can go with even low key, but still interesting. Like, he can just tell when somebody's actually guilty.
Oh, I like that one. You
know,
can
like,
read minds.
Who has that
Like,
power?
he could just
Dog.
Dawg the Bounty Hunter. He can just tell when
He can
somebody's
tell your
actually.
inner secrets.
Like, he
He's like a
knows
human
that,
rights
oh no, you
lawyer.
really are guilty, I'm getting you.
He's like
or,
a
no,
human
you're a
rights
good guy,
Socrates.
I can let you go.
Socrates is like Dr. X or who's
Yeah.
Xavier.
Xavier, sure.
Okay, and he's basically himself, except he also has the power of the spleen. The spleen. What was that movie? The spleen was this group of superheroes that all had just like stupid superpowers, and the spleen could fart on command and make it as toxic as he wanted.
Why was he the spleen then?
Because he did this. He cultivated these noxious things in his spleen,
That's
and it was
hot.
played by the same guy that was Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
He was so good.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, I just thought of something. Leonardo da Vinci is Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're already pretty alike.
Just turned into a giant turtle.
Yeah, pretty much. He just
He's Leonardo da Vinci
Turtle.
with armor, and he's a ninja badass.
Yes, that make it happen.
Him by him, he would leave the rest of the group. He would be a solo badass.
Do you know what I
long
think
as
would
Michael
be
Bay
really
doesn't
cool
direct
though? What if he could paint something and it would come to life?
Ooh,
That is.
Whoa!
That's an awesome idea. That's an awesome
That's
idea.
some cool shit.
So basically, he has the ability to manifest his drawings.
But I feel like it'd have to be like an object. Like
And
you
then,
couldn't bring anything
and then
to
he
life.
found
He
like a
needs
magic
Socrates.
paintbrush.
Yeah.
He needs
Like
Yeah.
Socrates and Amy
SpongeBob.
White. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
He needs Socrates and Amy Winehouse there because once he's painted this creature and brought it to life, Amy Winehouse and Socrates teach this thing that's come out of his painting to live in the world and how to be the superhero it's going to be.
Oh, I like that. I feel like the
Mona
only
Lisa
thing
as a
is,
ninja.
I don't think he could bring anything to life. I think he could paint like objects and like take those out. But I feel like once it gets to
It's
life,
like
that's too
Chalk Zone.
complicated.
You ever seen Chalk Zone?
That creates
No.
some moral quandaries.
There are some- yes.
He's able to create
Just
life.
paid money
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh, I love
He
moral
could do
quandaries.
that, but he's a superhero.
Yeah, but like if you had this
Dog the
power,
Bounty
wouldn't
Hunter
you-
is there to tell him no.
No.
Tell him why
No,
it's
Leo.
wrong.
Well, that's the thing about moral stuff is that you have to kind of decide yourself when it's right and when it's wrong.
That was deep.
Right, like if you were to get superpowers, would you actually use them for good, or would you be corrupted by
I
the
feel like
Self-gain
I
all
feel
the
like
way.
for the most part, I'd use it for good. I feel like selfishly,
I
I'd
was
use
gonna
it
say,
a little bit.
I've thought about this before, and I'd be kind of half and half.
I'd be half and half.
I'd use them for good as much as possible, but I would make damn sure that I was living a damn good, comfortable life.
There
If
you
that meant ripping off other countries and stuff, I'd do it.
power to walk through
It's
walls
like, you know,
and you're next to a
I'm-
bank, you wouldn't.
Just
be
be
I'm going to help the world, but at the same time, I want my Bruce Wayne, baby.
I feel like I do I do little bits at a time though, so that it didn't really affect anything. But that,
And so that it doesn't look that conspicuous overnight.
yeah.
This loser that lived in the grovels of Santa Barbara all of a sudden owns half of the Riviera.
Exactly. Like I'd be a little bit
I was
sly
just
about
suspicious.
it. I'd be a little bit
But
sly
yeah,
about
but
it.
I mean, like if I were to like use powers to gain money, I'm not gonna buy a new place. That's way too suspicious. I'm just gonna buy things online all the time.
Oh, I'd buy a new place right away. I'm sorry.
I would do that too. I'd be like, oh, surprise!
away.
I've been saving
Right
up
away.
for months.
Sorry, doesn't this
I
kinda
didn't tell
depend on
anyone.
the
I
superpower
didn't
though?
need that
Like
at
how
all.
we...
Yeah. What
Sorry, have we used-
superpower? What
Yeah,
superpower
what's
would
power?
lead to this?
Yeah, what would be the power?
What would be the power that would
I
grant
feel like you
this
could make
freedom?
money off of any superpower.
So what if your superpower was
something
that
you
you
would
knew the exact
Okay.
moment and the
I got
exact
one for
way
you.
in which you were going to die? How are you going to get rich off that?
Wait,
That'd just
in which
make you
you're gonna
miserable
die?
from now
What?
until the time you died, right?
That's not a
point being-
superpower.
My point is, superpowers can be terrible.
That's not a
depe-
superpower though.
Sure, it would be. A superpower is something that's beyond what your normal abilities are.
Okay,
we
but-
have no idea when we're going to die.
But if you just
But if you
knew-
suddenly knew in exact detail, the exact moment and way, and everything about the details of your death, and there was no way to change it, well, the I guess the plus side is from here till then, you can do anything you want because
That's
you know you're not going to die.
superpower.
But it is.
I don't even want that superpower.
But that's exactly my point. Is that
that's
the
lame.
superpower matters because different ones have different effects.
You can save.
You know what I
people,
do with
you
that
can love
superpower?
people, and you know you're not going to die because
That's
you
right.
know exactly.
That's
what
true.
you're
So
gonna
That's
die.
right. You can jump. You
Oh,
can
I
jump
love
out of a
that.
plane because you know, hey, it's not my time
Something's
yet.
gonna
My day,
happen.
exactly.
Ooh,
Something
good
could
point.
be.
You could be evil.
You can jump out of a car at 1,000 miles an hour.
You could
It
be-
really makes no difference because you know you're not going to die.
You
You
can
get
sell
injured.
tickets.
I suppose,
And
but if
say,
you
like,
know the conditions
Boom,
upon which
I'm
you're
going
die,
to
you know you're
stop
already
a
injured.
train coming down the tracks. I'm going to stand on this train track and I'm going to stop this train.
Right.
And you're going to sell tickets, $1,000 a person, and you're going to make your money that day because you know that train's not going to.
There you go.
Something will happen.
See, you can get
Yeah,
money
the
that
train,
way.
the train will derail or will break or some event will intercede or something will come up and move you.
But do you know up until that day that you actually die? Because right now we just know the day that you die.
I'm assuming
Is
in
that
this
train
power-
going to make you an invalid? Are you basically going to be a slug?
You said you know how you died, right?
Yeah, if you know how you
In
died.
this particular scenario, you would know how you died and the conditions upon which.
Okay,
you
so
reached
then,
that.
so yeah, you could be
thank
like,
you.
all right, well, I was
Very
walking, so
Exactly.
I can do this.
Exactly. But still, I mean, the variety and different potentials for superpowers is pretty much endless, right? It's
it's true.
up to your imagination.
Yeah, it all
and
depends on
all
the
of them are
level
going to
of
have
power.
different effects, right?
Whether it's a curse or a gift.
That's
you
right.
know.
Maybe it's
Like
like
you can look
Doc-
at it living in fear that the day you're gonna die is coming, and you know it, and you're just inside being all like, "Well, this sucks," or
Yeah.
you can be all like, "Oh shit, yeah, I know when I'm gonna die. That's awesome."
That's right. Exactly.
And
It
plus,
could
what
go
about
either way?
what about Dr. Manhattan, for example, where it's like you can save people and you can save like everything about our Earth, but at the same time you can't save humanity from itself, you know? Because like, what if you're just like this godlike creature, and all of a sudden like everyone's like, "Oh, solve our problems," and it's like, yeah, but like
You just keep
caused
creating
them.
them. Yeah, you just keep making them.
Yeah,
So he left.
I feel like you just got to ignore it and pretend it's
No,
not
you
there.
just kill everybody.
that's kind
Problem
of the point of
solved.
Watchmen. You ever read Watchmen? though?
You all be
Good
dead.
book.
You got no problems
What?
now.
You ever read Watchmen? It's a good book.
I laughed.
I have not.
Hate it when I laugh.
You should. This movie.
There's a
If
movie.
you want to save yourself from reading.
It's really long.
How long is the movie?
All right, here's my superpower. Play with this one. And I want to give it to Leonardo da Vinci. He's my favorite of the four that I pulled up. That's why he was first on the question. Is I can look at anybody, any one person, any group of people, I'll say within 300 yards around me, and I can control all of their physical, involuntary functions.
Puppet show.
That sounds messy.
Involuntary functions.
Just involuntary.
Involuntary functions. That means I cannot make you hit yourself in the face.
Could make us blink.
I
like
can't
crazy.
make you dance. I can give you a heart attack.
Or make you blink all
I
crazy.
can make you shit your pants.
Make you stop breathing.
What? But you can
Okay.
control your butt. Right?
First business that the four of them start for me with this superpower is the Weight Watchers Clinic. Here's why. People are lining up, giving us money all day, right? And they come in and they sit in, and Socrates gives them a blah, 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 and they do the little mantra with him and stuff, and Dawg gives them a little massage and everything, and then we have them sit on a toilet, and I make their body turn their fat cells into energy, go through their system, and they take a huge dump, and they leave, and they're 10 pounds lighter. Bang! We're rich! We're rich!
Yeah,
That
but
was an
like,
interesting thought.
what specifically about it being that?
I pat you on the back and you take a shit and lose 10 pounds. You're gonna give me fucking a lot of money for that. Think of how many people would give you their house to
Most
do that.
expensive shit you've ever taken.
That's the name for the
And you have
business.
special toilets that are really big and have giant pipes that just go.
Yeah, Da Vinci.
Oh, no.
We'll call it costly movements.
Da Vinci, he can design those
And then
toilets.
on top of that, you can rule the world because any world leader who's doing what you don't like, you just show up to one of their rallies and you can do anything from make them burp while they're talking, fart while they're talking, have a stroke, have a heart attack, piss themselves.
All of the
Just
above.
at the middle
Whatever you
ones.
want. You can show up to that big Nazi rally we were talking about last week, and every Nazi shits and pisses themselves simultaneously. Suddenly, the whole thing gets quiet. Dude, I just sharted. Oh, see, dude.
We all did together.
My favorite superpower. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, Gunter, I think I sharded my Lederhosen.
Oh my goodness. That is an interesting superpower, one that I have never thought of before.
You're just at the middle of a Trump rally, and he's just like,
No one does.
and we are going to build a great wall. Oh shit, I just shit myself.
If you make all the neo-Nazis shard themselves, it's less embarrassing because they all did it.
And Leonardo da Vinci has a superpower, and everybody notices a little by little every week he gets a little bit taller and bigger and taller and bigger, and he starts to look like, the Hulk or something. It's like, I could do this really quick, but I'm going to sneak it in. He becomes the biggest scientist in the world, and he's the best painter and the best inventor.
And Dawg the Bounty Hunter is super jealous.
Well, I'm sure he would help out.
That's a
Dawg.
superpower, jealousy.
The team of the four, they've got to be best friends. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all of a sudden, Amy Winehouse is going to be like her plus Jessica Rabbit mixed
Nice.
together. And I would actually say like Dawg the Bounty Hunter would end up being more like the Hulk, and Leonardo da Vinci he'd be a little more sleek.
I
He'd be
feel like
Flash,
he'd,
you know?
yeah. He'd be toned.
Yeah, he'd be toned. And,
He wouldn't want to get ripped.
No, he
Because he
wouldn't.
needs the
Right.
flexibility.
Yeah, right. He wants to be able to move his arm across his chest without
Yeah.
hearing Velcro.
While Dawg is like, I don't want to move. Like,
A great wall.
Socrates is like, all right, dude, we got rid of that spare tire. Are you in? All of a sudden, he's doing cartwheels all over the place. But it's like, whoa, dude, you're doing cartwheels. Take off the robe and put on some pants.
So if the
I
four of
believe
them
it's a
are,
toga.
superheroes, who's their arch nemesis?
Ooh, good question.
Ooh, yeah.
It'd be me.
Somebody who's possibly got superpowers
Right.
themselves.
Keanu Reeves, maybe.
I was going to say, at the same time, okay, we've given superpowers to them. So we got to have the evil superpower team
That's right.
that have their own superpowers.
That's right.
First on the list, of course, Donald Trump.
He can make walls
What
materialize
is
out of
his
thin air.
superpower?
he can piss anyone off.
He's the biggest
10
douche
seconds.
ever.
I don't know. I like yours. He can build a wall. Just
Yeah, he can just, with a wave of his hand, make a
Build
brick
walls.
wall materialize out of himself and
the
his
most
foe.
beautiful walls.
And he
as
makes
well.
country bumpkins join together in arms.
I feel for like Dawg the Bounty Hunter specifically, it would have to be like a criminal who's never been caught, so probably like the Zodiac killer.
Very
That
good.
guy's Ted Cruz. Yeah. Ted Cruz and Donald Trump.
Of course.
Can it, are
Okay,
they
the
just,
Zodiac Killer, his superpower.
is to kill people and not get caught.
There it is.
There you
Run
go.
for
Okay,
president.
he's got invisibility and he's like a night crawler. He can
Oh, I like that. That's cool. That's all right.
Nice.
teleport at will,
I
but
see
it makes that big fart.
We should probably have
That
Tom
big
Cruise in
giveaway.
there, too.
Oh, he went over there. How do you know?
Oh.
See
Oh,
the-
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, but it's like a more feeble kind of sounding
I think
sound
Tom
to it.
Cruise
It's like
needs to be added to the bad guy list.
I like Tom Cruise on the bad guy list. His ability is to make horrible
Scientology.
movies.
God,
that's a superpower.
He is the head of Scientology already. That's in real life.
And
So
we-
he,
and,
so he just has a large following. I feel like
Oh, he has a great womanizer ability.
he has mind control.
then
He
he
has
drives
mind
insane.
control.
Turns women into
control. There you go.
slaves.
Mind
There you go.
control.
Totally.
Ah, mind control.
Okay,
That's
so we
it.
need one more.
That is a dangerous mother freaking
Seriously.
superpower.
Also
Yeah.
acrobatic because
Because even if I had
stunts.
my superpower that I came up with, or any superpower that we came up with,
He can
in this
control
whole
you.
thing, if he's got mind control,
He controls you.
Now he has your superpower at his disposal.
yeah, there's no way
Ouch!
you can't become sadistic with the
motherfucking
power of mind
bitch.
control.
Somebody
I mean,
kill that bitch.
But he only can control the weak.
Well, Professor X had mind
Well, he
control, and he didn't control people because he felt like that was immoral. Like he morally.
Tom Cruise doesn't have
But Tom Cruise is an asshat,
Look
so
at the
he's obviously
Purple
going to do it, right?
In the comic books, his origin, the Purple Man in the comic books, his origin, he was like a completely normal dude. But once he realized he had mind control and that his wife never actually loved him, he was like, oh, well, shit. I guess I'm just going to go kill a bunch of people.
Right.
Because I'm purple.
Who the hell was the Purple Man?
Have you
He's the grimace
watched
from,
Jessica
from
Jones,
McDonald's.
TV show on Netflix?
Say it again.
Jessica Jones?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, he's David.
For those of you who don't know, watch Jessica Jones and you know who the Purple Man is. Thank you, Sam. I heard you too.
Well, we need
Yeah, he's
one
the
more
grimace.
villain.
Yeah, we need one more. Okay, but we
So
need
that
one more
remaining
villain.
villain.
I think we need-
it should be
We need
Dolly.
one more villain? Okay.
Yeah.
Like as a sort of anti-Da Vinci, another artist. Should be Dolly, Salvador Dali.
yeah.
Salvador Dali's villain. He's got the mustache, the twirl.
And yeah, he's the perfect villain. And his power is he can make things melt, like those clouds.
Oh,
shit,
yes.
that's cool.
He can
See,
melt anything, no matter what it's made of. He can make the molecules just make it drip and.
You go into his lair, it's just a bunch
Ooh,
of
that's a
melted clogs.
scary
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
We need to start this comic book series.
That's really cool. We need
That's
a
a
good.
I want to call that
though.
power viscous power, where you can change the viscosity of any substance. Make solids
Oh
liquids.
my God! Hello, Pepto Bismol.
What about Lady Gaga? She already dresses like a villain.
Oh, that's cool.
No, but that's one too many, isn't it?
Yeah, but
That's
We need,
okay,
we
though,
need a
because-
good woman villain.
That's
When
true.
you have
We've
a
already got
superhero
Tom Cruise.
And when you
Come
have
out
a
of the closet.
superhero crew, you can't have the same villains all the time. There has to be more.
Yeah, they need to
villains than
rotate. They
superheroes.
need to
Yeah,
rotate.
they got to slip stuff around.
Yeah.
And I agree, Lady Gaga would be.
I don't know though. You know
I
what?
don't even know what her power
Okay.
is, and she's scary.
Wait, listen to this though, guys. Listen to this though. Taylor Swift.
Oh, God.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Like-
Oh,
This
she's
is
the
going.
mastermind.
Hear me out. Yes. Hear me out. So she's been all super innocent, super cool, right? And have you guys heard her new song?
No.
It's crazy. There's this one part where she, like the whole song, it's like a vengeance song. It's like, look what you made me do. Like now I'm crazy and I'm batshit. And like even in one of the verses of the song, it's like, it's kind of like it's supposed to be a voicemail. And she goes, oh, Taylor, or the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. So I think that she's gone crazy
So
and she's snapped, and now she's a villain.
I believe that.
And she hooked up
I'd
with
buy it.
Stan from that Eminem song. You've never heard that song? Stan. It's like, my idea is that he hooks up with Taylor Swift, and they're both a couple of crazy, insane characters that are in songs.
I think it's kind of like the Green Goblin. You know how his son was totally normal, totally cool, and then he just snapped
Yeah.
and was the villain.
Yep.
That's Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Something
Totally.
happened.
Something happened.
Kanye.
Kanye happened.
Kanye happened.
It's called UTI.
So yeah, that's my pitch. But I also like Lady Gaga.
12 years.
Yeah, but consider how many exes she's had.
But I like the Lady Gaga idea though, because she does dress like a villain.
Did we
What
did we
is the
figure out a
name of
power
the
for
crime
her?
syndicate that Taylor Swift and
just
Lady
Lady
Gaga are
Lady Gaga.
running?
Cool.
I think the
It's
two
called
of them would,
Shoe Collection.
I think they would even be in competition with each other in a way, you know?
I feel like
Who's gonna be the
they'd be
leader?
villain. Like you know, like sometimes they won't like each other and they'll be against each other, but then. You know, when Leonardo da Vinci and all of them are ganging up on it, then they work together as a team.
A whole will they, won't they thing?
Exactly.
They're like the Guardians of the
Yes!
Galaxy, except not
Evil.
the Guardians of the Galaxy.
An unspoken thing.
What was the DC bad guys? Legion of Doom.
Oh.
That's what we call them. They're the Legion of
The
Doom.
Legion
It's
of
always like
Doom.
a Doom thing. Like it's never some original name. It's always the group of bad adjective.
The Legion
No.
of Douche.
It's such a
And there we go.
How about
self-explanatory thing. You're like, oh,
Oh,
Doom.
it's Doom.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
So we
cool.
run. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Would you prefer Legion of Utter Destruction?
oh, I've
that's
got
cool.
something. The
Or
chaos
cows?
the chaos collaborative.
Hey!
Oh, I like that.
Bravo.
I like it.
The Destruction Consortium.
Oh, you guys are good at those. I'm like trying to come up with one, and I can't do it.
Legion of Doom 2.
Doom times 2.
The Bad Collective.
Doom squared. Despair squared, like despair with a little 2 at the top.
The
But
evil
wait,
teaming.
we didn't say what their powers would be.
I think Lady Gaga can make bagels shoot out of her wrists.
Why bagels?
Hers would be really
Why not?
random.
No, she can turn into meat.
Why bagels?
Soup.
Because you smear your enemy.
The power to just pop out of eggs. Any egg. She
She can pop out of an egg. That's
No,
amazing.
she just like tears a little hole in the eggshell, and like John Cena, she's just like, "Are you sure about that?"
I think she'd do the eggs and the bagel just because she's Lady Gaga. She's a woman of many talents.
She can
You know.
shoot Jimmy Dean egg sandwiches using her mind. Why not? She can do it.
All right, what about- I think Taylor Swift can turn into animals. That's really lame.
Shapeshift. She's a shapeshifter.
And
All right,
her
that's
favorite
basic.
is
like a sheep.
the hamster.
Why hamsters?
Because they're
Why
small and they can go anywhere.
They're sneaky.
They're inconspicuous. Have you ever just seen a hamster just out?
No.
Exactly.
They're
I'm not a
shit.
vile rodent, you know. They're tough little rodents.
And suddenly Daniel turned into the Scotsman from Samurai Jack. Celtic rules.
Obviously, me and Sam are the only people here who know who that guy is.
No,
I
actually, Samurai Jack is one of my favorites. I've seen the entire thing.
Wait, Mackenzie, have you not seen it?
I have, but I was a lot younger. I haven't seen it.
Samurai
I
Jack
recently-
is rocking.
with his sword fighting that giant.
Oh, he's fighting Aku because Aku came and destroyed his family, and his father had a sword that's a magical sword. It's the only sword that can kill Aku.
Wielding a magic sword.
Yes,
Did it
and
take that
so
long to kill him?
well, what happened
No,
is
it doesn't kill him.
Aku,
Jack?
what happened is Jack got saved
Okay,
as
how
a
many
child.
episodes are they on?
Jack got saved as a child.
It's a bragging thing.
And was raised like, fighting, learning how to fight different styles, right? Up until like 20. And I think he finally got the sword and had a chance to fight Aku and came close to beating Aku. But then Aku, at the last minute, sent Jack into the future.
Where my evil is law.
And then
That was good.
and by doing that,
I needed you
right?
a while back.
Then Jack wasn't around to kill Aku, so Aku could take over the world, and basically the entire world and future were all ruled by Aku. And Aku at some point takes the sword, so he can't kill him. Yeah, I know, it's a real bummer.
How did Aku send him to the future? Is this just some power he had?
Aku is super
it's a
powerful.
screech he does that sends him into a portal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it says
Aku
can
has
send
Aku
you-
has the power to materialize, hide. He can create himself. He can create copies of himself.
Well,
he can
that's why
transform.
Samurai Jack hasn't killed
Aku
him yet.
himself cannot
But-
travel
but he-
time, but he
but-
lives forever. But he can send you.
But Aku,
So he can't
Aku,
travel through time just 1 second at a time.
right? That's true. Yeah, at normal speed, right? But the
Are we
thing
all
is,
traveling to the future?
the thing is that Samurai Jack is badass. And he's
It's
great.
true.
He saves people and he destroys robots left and right.
And he's
he
played
has-
by Marvin from Pulp Fiction.
And though he almost
no.
never speaks, he has one of the greatest voices ever,
Ever
in any
yes.
cartoon.
Yes, and some of the greatest scenes of any fight scenes have happened ever in Samurai Jack. Like there have been times when assassins are going to kill him, and there's like a few of them, and in the time that it takes one drop to fall, he takes them all out.
That's,
Really
okay,
brilliant.
now I want to watch it again because it
Yeah,
used to be
it's
my
so
favorite
good.
show when I
It
was
is
a
so
kid.
good. It is so.
It used to be my favorite show.
It is like absolutely stunningly.
I actually
brilliant.
recently started showing it to my girlfriend. She loves it. I also skipped ahead a bit so I could show her the Scotsman episode just because I knew she loved it.
The Scotsman episode is fantastic because the Scotsman really is funny.
And he's played by John DiMaggio, the same guy who plays Bender from Futurama. And Jake from
I love
Adventure
that you
Time.
know who does all the sounds. That's fantastic.
Well, yeah, I've been watching cartoons for a long ass time. I mean, obviously.
Me too, but I don't get that info. See, I just enjoy them and then move on, like,
Yeah, that's what I do.
without trying to like attribute credit to where it's due, and you go that extra step. So
Yeah, but when you watch
Kudos.
stuff that's all on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, you start to recognize certain voices, like
Then you
Tom
wanna
Kenny.
know
how
who these
he-
voices are.
yeah,
And they're like, oh wait, I know that voice.
Yeah.
you know Tom Kenny,
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, of course. He also plays the Ice King from Adventure Time. He also plays Mumbo the Magician from Teen Titans. He also plays Scaramouche from the new season of Samurai Jack. Scaramouche, that guy.
I knew he did the Ice King. I did not know he did Mumbo. That's actually a really cool fact.
see,
He looks
isn't
like
that
the
cool?
Ice
He
King.
comes up with all these amazing facts about who's who.
He's a
See,
cartoon
it's cool 'cause,
scholar.
like, I always like finding out like these things, and I'm like, oh, that makes so. But like in the moment, like I don't care because I'm just
Yeah.
like so into it
Totally.
that I'm just like, focused.
That's what happens to me.
Yeah, you could go through half of IMDb when it comes to cartoons and just be like, oh my god, this person's been in everything.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I figured out that Alan Tudyk voiced the chicken in Moana.
Oh yeah, he also
That's
plays,
what it was.
That was what it was.
That's what it was. Because
so
I was
funny.
watching Firefly, and so I was like, "Oh, I just want to go through IMDb," and I clicked on his, and I was like, "What else is he in?" Because I love him, and I was like, "He's Hey Hey! Oh my god!"
He's also K2SO from Star Wars Rogue One.
Yeah, he's in a lot of different
Congratulations, Go
things.
being saved.
He voices a lot of things, and I'm
He's
just
also
like,
the Duke of Wesselton
Yeah.
and Duke Weaseltown.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, if we're going to go into like cartoon voice actors who have been around the horn, like just been like in everything, do you know who Jim Cummings is?
sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
It's so familiar.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
Okay, he first of all was in tons of like miscellaneous voice acting roles in like the 90s, but he did tons of stuff for Disney. He played like Pocahontas's father. He was also in The Lion King to back up singing roles for Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons essentially lost his voice at one point, and he had to fill in for the last few verses of
Be prepared.
Be Prepared. Yeah. So
While he looks that up,
I
I don't know if
prefer
it came up because I
Alpha.
walked away.
Oh, that's a really good
Samurai Jack's voice that I mentioned was one of the greatest cartoon voices ever. Do you know who did that voice? Phil Lamar. Do you know who he was?
Marvin.
Mad TV. He was the guy that played the UPS guy.
No.
Yeah.
Mad TV was my
That
favorite
skinny,
show.
awesome voices. Man of 1,000 voices. I love it.
That's
Did you
so
find
cool.
it yet?
Yeah, I found his IMDb page.
Hide your phones.
Okay.
You don't know it. Blow
Well, for
it.
starters, like I said, Lion King. He was also in Shrek as the captain of the guard, the one who's like,
Oh, yes.
you'll get arrested by Lord Farquaad, that guy.
Yes.
He was
Lord, what?
Farquaad. We all know it means fuckwad. And he-
Farquaad.
Okay.
Farquaad.
Okay, in any event, he also is a bunch of background voices in The Hunchback of Notre Dame and other stuff.
I'm a background voice here.
Well, aren't we all background voices right now?
No,
It's a
you're a
podcast.
primary voice.
He also plays Winnie the Pooh in all the more recent Winnie the Pooh stuff.
Oh.
He does that voice really well.
Oh, bother.
You all know one of my favorites. Yes, Winnie the Pooh.
He also
Give me some honey.
You know how Kaa from the Jungle Book, the snake, was voiced by the same guy who played Winnie the Pooh and the stork from Dumbo. Jim Cummings is the same thing. He voices Kaa in the new version, in like Jungle Book 2. Not the new Jungle Book because that was Scarlett Johansson, but it's really just cool how he made
That was
Trivia
so
question.
cool.
Well,
And she did an awesome job, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, she kicked ass.
Yeah.
He also does the voice of Pete in the more recent Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Pete?
Yeah, Pete, like the fat
Stinky
dude who's
Pete.
always got a
Stinky
cigar.
Pete.
Like, you needed the stinky there.
Everybody knows.
Oh,
who
Stinky
Pete
Pete, yeah.
No, Stinky Pete is the
Pete
prospector
Thomas
from Toy Story 2, and he's voiced by Kelsey Grammer.
They call him
Also known
Stinky
as
Pete.
Frasier.
Oh my gosh, I did not know this about Sam because we have Rod
I'm
is
a walking IMDb page. What can I
Rod
say?
is our
That's wrong,
resident
IMDb.
computer genius philosopher. Mackenzie, we're still discovering, is our resident like improv actress, equestrian witch. Sam is our IDMB man.
IMDb.
IMDb.
Yeah,
IDMB.
whatever. You know what I mean.
IDMB sounds like some kind of weird BDSM.
Blake, I was
knockoff.
going to introduce just as the voice, but I wanted
The
to
voice.
peer more
The
into
voice.
his inner cracks and whatnot. And Dean
Plenty of cracks.
is pretty much a giant roll, got it all going on dude.
Me doing stuff.
I try to do that at the beginning of every episode.
Kind of like giving
matter.
little introductions and stuff.
Yeah, I'll let you do your own introductions from now on.
Yeah, I get
You
that.
guys make up your own.
That's always best. I would introduce myself as Lord Goofball.
I like that.
Know it, not all.
I make
That's my dog's name.
Really?
I make Siri call me Princess Butterbottom.
I love that.
Can I introduce myself as Dean?
Why not?
I guess I'll be Blake.
Can we just
Why
all
not?
switch names?
Blake Everest.
That sounds like something I'd say.
Can we just,
I would say that.
all switch names?
Leonardo
Obadiah.
DiVinci, Amy Winehouse, Socrates, and Dawg the Bounty Hunter have a
child?
corporate takeover meeting with Jesus.
And they take over Nickelodeon so they can start taking
That's what
over
it's about?
podcasts.
Jesus is like, hey, Nickelodeon, and they're like going for the hostile takeover, and Jesus is like, whoa, man,
whoa.
this is my Nickelodeon here.
No, do you know what I would definitely watch on TV? All four of them raising a child.
Dang.
Or the octuplets.
Yes! Just throw as many
Amy
kids in
Winehouse got
there.
pregnant, and she's got the octuplets, and they don't know who the father is.
It turns out it's all three.
They've done the DNA test, and it all matches. Wait, it could be Leonardo
That's the
DiVinci.
season finale,
It could be
though.
Dawg the Bounty Hunter. Oh, that's right. We know, but we don't tell
That's
you.
the
till
season
the
finale.
end.
And yeah, and all the guys have to help in, not knowing if that's actually all 8 of their children or not.
I love it.
And Socrates the whole time is going, I'm just waiting to find out it's not me because then I'm out of here.
Exactly. And Dawg the Bounty Hunter, he's like, I don't care. They're not my kids. I'm here for them.
Dog's like, I'm going to build the team.
Dog's so into
He's like
it.
Nick Fury.
And all 8 of them are girls, and Dog's got this vision of just like them wielding bazookas and stuff.
Crime fighting across
It'd be like
America.
the Fox
Bounty
Force
Hunter
5 or
puppies.
something.
Bounty Hunter puppies.
That's it. And then Leonardo da Vinci's like, I don't really care. I'm going to go paint.
He's like the introverted artist of the group.
Yeah.
Trying to teach the girls how to be like artistically inclined, but he's also like
No,
not the
Leonardo
best
da
parent or
Vinci
something.
was busy all day, every day. He was not just painting.
I bet the
True.
kids would be stealing like his tubes of
The
paint.
man
He'd have to
had,
chase
like,
them all
7
around the
projects
house.
going on at any given time. And be it if you were his son, daughter, friend, whatever, he pulled people into everything he was doing. If you were within earsight or vision or mouth talking of him,
Within
he
mouth
gave
talking.
you a job
Within mouth
to
talking.
do.
So the children avoided him,
Exactly.
not the other way around.
Exactly.
He'd probably invent something so he can do as little work as possible.
Have you ever seen it?
I don't think he actually had any
Hudson
girlfriends. I think he might have
Isn't
been.
that the one with you talked
Oh,
about
yes.
this
him,
last week,
I-
right?
him and Socrates
No, I didn't.
both.
But the first 10 minutes of Hudson
Guy and
Hawk
guy only.
describes
This is their trying
Leonardo
to
da
keep
Vinci's
their image
life.
alive. They're just like, yeah, I totally had sex with her.
Totally.
Totally. It was fun.
So they're just there to disprove the rumors. And real. Oh my god.
I know the best hurricanes. The best hurricanes in the world.
Yeah, I mean, people who didn't pay attention, who thought they could just weather this, they're dealing with impossible
weather?
situation. They're dealing with 150-mile winds. They're dealing with no power. They're dealing with flooding
Yeah.
of unbelievable scale.
That's why you build a bunker.
That floods. Unless it's
Just
watertight.
Obviously, I
Unless
would.
it's watertight, you're going to be underwater.
No, it's water. It's watertight. But then you're like, all right, I think.
As long as you got
clear.
tanks of
Okay.
air, I guess you'll be okay, right?
But this is the point where Socrates comes to the rescue because his superpower was all that of Aquaman.
Oh.
Ooh.
He's
Can
still
I
himself, but he's got the Aquaman powers.
Can I just say how excited?
He does. Yeah, he only gets control over fish, so that really
he
isn't
looks
gonna
like
help.
Jason Momoa, and no one messes with Jason Momoa.
Can I just say how excited I am for the new Aquaman?
Oh yeah, me too. It's gonna be awesome.
Because it's called Drogo, who is perfect
I
for the role.
know. I love
Totally.
him.
Dean and I went to see a movie way back when, and I'm telling him what happened in season 5, and this is a while, months after the season ended. And this dude sitting in front of us, he looks like he lives in a basement with his mom, probably early mid-30s, heavy set, long hair, you know the type. And
Comic book guy from The Simpsons.
exactly, worst spoiler ever. So he starts bitching me out about how I'm spoiling things, but he's eavesdropping on our conversation.
Like, excuse you. And before that, wasn't he getting mad at us for talking during the previews?
Yeah, during the previews,
Mind you,
I
so-
hate people who do that. Like, come on, what are you gonna miss? First Look with Maria Menounos?
Granted, if it's sexual trailers most of the time, I try to keep quiet just because I'm really curious about what's coming up. And usually it's like
Well,
good
you're
stuff.
a film geek. What else?
Okay, wait. My question is, were the lights on or off?
They were on.
Oh, then you guys are fine.
Right.
The second the lights go off, that's when you start being quieter. And then when the movie starts, that's when you shut up.
Yeah, it's like, dude, the
I know
lights are on. I'm going to sit here and talk about your
that's
mom.
pretty standard. Someone was complaining because I was talking about a movie from like the 80s, and they were like, a spoiler! And I was like, no, I'm sorry.
Wait,
I
you're
really
saying-
don't care.
You're saying Gary Oldman dies at the end of Air Force One?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I haven't seen Air Force One.
Spoilers.
Sorry. Well,
I don't care, honestly. I mean, a lot of good movies out there, but like some of them, you can't just like say that they're all great twists.
If it doesn't have good killing in it, I'm not interested.
Like, I mean, at this point, if you spoil the end of Sixth Sense, like, no one should get mad.
You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I smell.
Actually, I haven't seen that either.
I haven't seen that movie, but I still know the twist.
Yeah, exactly.
knows
Me
the
too.
twist.
Everyone knows it, yeah.
But let's not
smelled it.
One of those ones that you can guess it pretty quick.
The twist is that M. Night Shyamalan isn't that great a director after all.
That's right. That's right. That is the twist. That is the twist.
Is that a Cards Against
Actually
Humanity
can
card?
be
I'm pretty
if
sure
he's
it
like
is.
in his element.
Something
Like,
should
it's just
be.
that he's gotten caught up in his style so much that a lot of his stuff is just so.
Though his latest one with James McAvoy, Split,
I
was...
really want to see that.
I haven't
Don't
seen
do
that. Okay,
one.
yeah, wait.
I'm really
Yeah.
curious.
There's no
Okay.
twist in that one, I don't think. I mean, people...
I heard that there was
At the
some
time, there was
twist.
movies, I think.
People were telling me that they didn't get the twist, but then I went to see the movie,
And you're like,
I
there
think,
is no twist.
yeah, I didn't
It's
think
a
there
pretty
was.
straightforward movie, right? The guy's crazy, and that's the movie.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's not actually.
Just
It's
don't
not-
Yeah, I
there's
think
no
people
twist.
were
There's no
looking too
twist.
hard
The
for
only
a twist
twist
that
was
wasn't
in my
Guys,
existence.
And that's the movie. Twist is about a crazy guy, and that's the movie.
Sorry.
Let's go to Dongan's, get a chicken pot pie
What's the other? Have you guys seen the movie The Box?
with a Guinness.
What's in the box?
No,
was
no.
that movie last night?
That was the
It's a
one
head.
with
The button.
A spoiler.
what's her
Cameron
name?
Diaz.
Cameron Diaz.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the one where they like press a button and one person.
Yes.
random
Have you guys
dies?
seen this?
I saw that movie.
yes,
It's,
I have.
Wait a
it's-
minute.
It's actually based
I've
upon
seen
like
this.
A short
an
film
episode.
button, right?
It's based, I think, on an episode of The Twilight Zone, like one of the newer incarnations in color. Although I thought the movie was so ridiculous because they got carried away with the whole alien business.
I actually liked it.
Exactly.
Although I will admit, I watched it very late at night. And so I get really hyper late at night. And so I just got really into it. And I was like, fuck yeah, aliens. But I feel like if I watched it during the day, I'd be like,
Actually, can you go back a step? Can you describe the plot? Because I know
okay.
something.
So this guy comes and he has a box. And if you push the box, a person randomly that you don't know in the world will die.
Okay, I've seen.
What's the good part?
No, that's
You
the
get
money.
You get money.
Oh.
Lots of money.
$50,000. Okay.
No, it's like $1 million.
No. Okay,
It's a lot of money.
hold on. There is a short story which I read in high school called Button Button, which is exactly the same. I think they might have added some stuff to it because it involves aliens. Then it's definitely like not the same thing.
Yeah, no, there's aliens in this one. It gets crazy. It gets really twisted.
I haven't seen it, but I want to check it out.
You definitely should. And I'm sorry we told you about the alien.
It's all right.
But you should
Oh, you're
still
not
watch
supposed to know about the aliens?
it. No, you brought it up. You brought it up. I just.
Yeah, I take responsibility for that.
They weren't in the original short story, so I think it's safe to say that it's kind of like a bit of a liberty on part of people who created it.
Right, because they had to explain the button.
Yeah.
Like, so
That
some
was the
random
point.
button
It
kills
was
someone.
not supposed to be explained.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
the Force. It's like the Force.
I
That's
okay,
the
but I
concept
liked
for
when there was.
Don't.
Which doesn't make any sense.
We don't
to
talk
me.
about
Midichlorians explains the force.
Yeah, Metachlorians.
Can we not go back to that? I hate midichlorians and I hate that whole idea.
I love it. And I love Jedi's.
See, the way it
breath
works is that
freshener.
midichlorians
Teeth whitener.
are attracted to those things that are force sensitive. So the more force sensitivity you have, there's a
And the
direct
more
correlation.
every word that you explain makes
There's
it
a-
I love the
There's a direct
Metachlorians.
correlation of the number of midichlorians. Therefore, you can check how many midichlorians a thing has,
How
and
would
you
you
can see
By
how
taking a
force
blood
sensitive it
sample.
is.
How would you like
What they
to
did with
be-
Anakin, and they found out that he had a very high level of metachlorians.
Which
Okay.
means he's really force sensitive.
Pause.
Which
Second, hold on
is
a
why they believed that he was the prophecy.
No doubt, he was the
Which
chosen
he was
one.
the chosen one, technically, to
And-
bring the force
and
into
it really was
balance.
the chosen one because it
How did
took.
the Force make a woman pregnant?
She
It's all
didn't.
about your diet.
It actually
That was-
didn't. It actually didn't. What happened was that
When a mommy and a dad.
it actually gets revealed in another book that the Sith Lord that taught the Emperor Darth Plagueis, he was experimenting with midichlorians and creating life with midichlorians, and he was actually responsible for the birth of Anakin Skywalker.
That's why there's a theory that he's not actually dead. And that he's Snoke, but I don't buy the Snoke thing.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Everyone said that Snoke was Luke Skywalker for a while.
What?
Theories are stupid.
No.
Theories are dumb.
Some theories are dumb.
Many.
A lot of them are.
I actually really like listening to a lot of them, even if I'm like, okay, no way in hell is that true, but it's
But that's
kind
just a
of
theory.
cool.
Like
Oh,
the
movie
theory that
theory.
Snoke is Mace Windu.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, look, that one's
Lame.
stupid.
Then why does he have hands?
Lame.
Too soon.
Mace Windu, though, what a great movie.
I'm so excited, you guys.
Something that
Literally,
happens.
right after this,
What happened to Mace
I have
Windu?
Jedi training.
Nice.
Is
Nice.
that with Mateus and all them?
Yeah.
We want a video of this.
What's awesome about Mace Windu is that he actually uses
Yeah,
a little
in
bit of the
movie,
dark
right.
side
Oh,
We're
with
gonna
his
do a, like-
lightsaber for it. When
In
he uses his lightsaber,
Christmas
he
break.
taps into the dark side
I'm really
and then turns the opponent's energy back onto them. So it's
my
pretty
friend
badass.
Who used to work for TNT.
Little
always
Othello
told me.
action there.
it's like judo, but for energy, force energy, which can be measured by midichlorians.
Maybe.
No.
Stage in your laundry? You need midichlorians.
That's right.
I don't know. I like the whole midichlorian thing. I think it's cool. I like having explanations.
I love all things Star Wars. So
In my opinion, it's the explanation that kind of takes some magic out of it. Like,
No,
the fact
I
that we
need
don't know a ton about it,
explanations.
it's just kind of annoying.
Whenever I play
I'm-
like a new video game, I always look up theories and stuff so I can get like at least
background.
a theoretical explanation
Sure.
or something.
Yeah, I lose
Yeah,
interest
it leaves
if I
less
have
to the imagination
yeah.
if it's all explained. That's what's
Yeah.
cool about the wands in Harry Potter. How would you like it if like every facet of how the wand works was
There is a
explained?
lot of explanations about that, though.
there's probably an
There's some,
encyclopedia
but
somewhere.
not like
that has-
every aspect.
I don't need
of it.
every aspect. We don't get every aspect of the
Of the Force,
midichlorians.
or the Force.
I
It's
just need
the
some
wand
kind of something.
focuses your midichlorians.
And I would say to you, even though there are midichlorians, it doesn't explain the Force because
Yeah.
you still have the dark side of the Force, you have the light side of the Force, you have being guided by the Force. Like, how does that all work? Is never explained by anybody at any point anywhere in the Star Wars universe.
It's just a
All we
little
know
bit
is that
something.
depending on how powerful you are in the Force, you can tap into one of those two sides, and depending on who you are, like perhaps you're a gray Jedi, like Ahsoka or
Mace Windu.
or
Yoda?
the Jedi that trained Obi-Wan. What was his name?
Qui-Gon
Oh, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn was the perfect example of a gray Jedi. He should have been on the council, but they never let him on the council because he wasn't really white Jedi. He was a gray Jedi.
Whoa! I didn't realize this is a race thing, dude.
It's totally a race thing in terms of
No wonder Mace Windu.
in terms of the Jedi and the Force, yes, because the Jedi really wanted to focus on the white. He didn't. He didn't think that was smart. He thought that focusing on the entire living Force
I feel
was the right way to go, which is a very gray idea.
Hey,
That
Black
is-
Jedi's matter, man.
The Grey Jedi are
Puts him in the
ones that
Gandalf
like have the
area.
idea down.
They're the moderates of the. If we were to mirror this to political worlds, they're not Republicans or Democrats. They're in the middle.
Yeah, right. Because like the Jedi, I mean, like shutting off all emotion, though, you get something like Anakin. If Anakin was a Grey Jedi, he would never turn to the dark side.
That's because they're both taken to extremes and they're both wrong in their own ways. It's just that the Sith are more explicitly evil. The Jedi are more like misguided. They don't really know like the exact. They kind of lose their humanity in some way, you know. Like if you don't allow yourself
Well,
to
they
love,
definitely
then what allows you to know good from bad? It's self-control. It's being able to identify like a sense of morality.
I would
mean,
say,
it's a
I would say,
constructive
I would say,
compass.
if there was a problem with the Jedi, the problem that the Jedi had is a lack of humility and a thought that they had it all under control, under wraps. That was their downfall. If
They're
they
kind of much
if
Paul's
they
jerks.
weren't so arrogant about their own rightness and their own abilities, they probably would have fared way better. Because it was the fact that they kind of rest on their laurels and the fact that they figured they were going to be able to do it that they lost so badly. And so that's in my
how
opinion.
Order 66
You know what would have
happened,
helped?
Yeah.
If Leonardo da Vinci was a Jedi.
Yes.
Would have showed up.
Yes.
Yeah.
What color lightsabers would those
Purple.
four have? No, all four.
Well,
all four.
Amy Winehouse would have the rainbow.
Leonardo would have a
Rainbow lightsaber.
which I think Mace Windu had a purple.
Dog
But
would
he
have
did.
either a blue or green. I feel
Yes.
I feel like
would
he'd
a
have.
blue or green,
Yeah,
no
I
doubt.
think he'd have green.
green. Yeah.
I don't know. it just
Okay,
seems like
Amy's is
green.
yellow. I don't know. It'd be red because she's so sultry.
Hers might be red.
Well, I don't think she'd be dark side, but
Although technically speaking, it doesn't really matter what color your lightsabers that is actually totally agnostic. Just the fact that the Sith always use red is because they corrupt the crystal that they use, and that makes it red.
I thought the color of the crystals meant something.
It does mean something. It does.
The Republic,
But it doesn't mean something in terms of like, if I'm a Jedi and I have a blue, am I different from the guy who's got the green, or the different from the guy?
Actually, there is. Have you ever played Knights of the Old Republic?
I have, but that is now Legends.
True.
No,
I would think it reflects your
Knights of the
attitude.
Republic and Knights of the Republic 2 are both technically
I think if
canon.
you're more
Everything else in the
aggressive,
expanded
you
universe.
get more red.
Maybe you're right.
And if you're more peaceful, you get more blue.
I'm not 100% on
Maybe.
that.
And if you're just flat out crazy, you get white.
I thought the red crystals were synthetic. I didn't.
They're not that they're synthetic, is that they've been corrupted. They originally had a color, and then the Sith, through their Sith black magic, they turned them red.
And actually, in Knights of the Republic, they explained that within the Jedi Order, at least, the choice of color you have at the beginning it kind of determines how exactly you function as a Jedi Knight. If you are, I believe there's a Consular, a Guardian, and what was the third one? But basically, if you have certain colors, that indicates how you like solve disputes and how you solve problems. If you have a blue saber, then that indicates you're more into like fighting your way through problems, like taking out the bad guys, doing all that stuff. If you have green, that means you're more into like talking out your problems, making sure that people can be diplomatic. If it's yellow, then it's more like just like based on your force powers, being able to like convince people like through the force.
All right,
Like,
I'm going to
it's
take
not
you
the
all way
droids.
back.
Oh, yeah?
You know where they went to learn how to change each lightsaber crystal into a certain color?
How?
They had to go a certain race and talk to these individuals.
Huh?
The Slee Stack.
What are you talking What?
You don't know what the Slee Stack are?
No.
People, Google the Slee Stack.
What are
Look them up.
He's talking about an old.
Oh, you have to be old like me to know this.
There's an old Journey to the Center of the Earth or something.
What was it called? The Land of the
Land of
Lost.
Lost, right? And
The Land of the Lost.
these people went to
These people fell down
The
through
lizard
this
people.
waterfall,
Slowly.
river rafting thing, and they went back in time to the dinosaur days, and they met these
Star Wars is
ancient
way more exciting.
philosopher race of lizard people called the Slee Stack, and they had time doorways and stuff with weapons that you could energize, and you had to have certain colored crystals to do it.
Blue raspberry means you can get to Tatooine, I guess.
How do you? How would you explain that black lightsaber that the Mandalorians have?
Because
So it's all about those psychedelic posters.
because the Mandalorians are badass and they can do whatever they
You
want.
got the
Because
black-
Mandalorians.
So that's not a lightsaber.
It's not a lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's
That
not a
just makes the
lightsaber.
Millennium
That is not
Falcon
based
neon green.
on a what's the name of the crystal?
I can't remember.
Which one? Kuiper?
The Kuiper. It's not based on a Kuiper crystal, and so it's a kind of a unique sword. And in fact, there was one from Legends where it could actually turn off a lightsaber if it hit it. So like these guys go around turning off Jedi's lightsabers. With,
No.
Actually, I've heard of this theory before. I don't remember where, but like, what if the Jedi or anyone who uses the Force could just use their Force power to like press a little lightsaber button, and then just like it would devolve into they're just turning off each other's lightsabers, like just
I bet they,
totally.
I bet they
Totally.
technically could. I just think they're so into the like you don't have time to sit there and be like,
So part of when you're a Jedi fighting, part of your thing is you put up a shield that keeps them from being able to do little things like that, like turn off your lightsaber or, grab some knife that's on your side and jab it into your side.
I also
Oh,
feel
shit, I
like
didn't know that. That
since
makes sense,
Kyber
though.
crystals are basically crystallized force,
Yes.
then they probably make a little shield around the
Yes.
hilt too.
Yes.
oh yeah,
kind of
Oh,
like
that's
the
good.
Kylo Ren's hilt, right?
Yeah.
Kylo Ren's lightsaber is a fucking mess.
That thing is.
Yeah, it's
Well,
weirdly
okay,
designed.
to be fair, all the other Skywalkers got their arms chopped off. I'd have a crossguard too.
And he's technically a Skywalker.
I really want him to like accidentally cut off his own hand, just to really
Or he
keep
could stab
that
himself
trend
in the belly
going.
by accident.
He's such a whiny
disaster.
person.
He
It
is
just bugs
whiny.
me.
He's
It bugs me so
dramatic.
much.
I actually like Kylo Ren. He's like a better version of Anakin.
At first, I really wanted to like him. He just rubs me the wrong way. As soon as he starts
He
talking,
reminds me of like a spoiled little emo brat.
Pretty much.
It's
Which
like
he
he's
is.
trying to be all hateful and Sith-like, and then it's not working out. He's
And
like,
it's kind of like, I want to be like my grandfather. It's like, your grandfather would have killed you in 2 seconds.
Yeah, and it's like, and the guy who you're like idolizing as your like evil blah blah, he totally changed in the like, oh my god,
I know.
it's like, dude.
I know. Anakin would have no patience for this guy. He would have killed him in
No.
like, inside of 2 minutes, he would have killed him.
I'd be like, I don't give a shit that you're my grandson. You're
if
a
there was
whiny
sand in the
little
way?
bitch.
What if his armor was made out of sandpaper? Can't touch it.
No.
It's coarse,
No,
it's
no,
rough,
no.
and it gets everywhere.
He would hate it even more. You would just see him go berserker rage.
Nobody wouldn't go near him.
He would
get
melt it
everywhere.
into glass.
But all of his furniture
Every
would
last
be
grain
smooth.
would be melted into glass.
also hated every time he took off his helmet because his face was just too clean.
I know. No scars, no nothing.
Yeah.
I just don't like him.
Wait, Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to have scars and shit. Maybe he's just wearing that shit to be
Oh,
dramatic.
wait a minute. Think about where we are with plastic surgery today. And what would they have back then? You could have some badass scars and you would just choose to keep them. If you got any money, you just go like, oh, new face, please.
And you know you can wear a mask without having like something to hide.
One of my favorite characters is General Grievous because General Grievous' story is fantastic. General Grievous. General Grievous was originally
He's like the Michael Jackson of droids.
He was a battle commander. He was not a droid. He was a actual living being of a race of non-humans. So kind of a different form, right?
Cool.
But he was a warrior, like bar none. He was the most amazing warrior they had, and he fought all their wars and was victorious across the board. And he got the notice of the Emperor. The Emperor was like, "This guy's not only like really smart, he's a really amazing warrior. I could use him. I just can't use him in the form that he's in. I think I'm going to give him an upgrade." So he planned for the shuttle accident that turned Grievous into the metal monster that he is,
Which they made at least one mistake, in my opinion.
in terms of,
Why not 6 arms?
well, they could have, but four
stopped
seemed to
dropping
work.
us.
And then
Yeah, at a certain point, you reach a point of negative returns, right? And so he
Like a
he was
centipede with a bunch of lightsabers.
he basically destroyed his body and then put him into this mechanical thing, and then had his other Sith dude train him in the Jedi arts so that he could be a badass. And then he went out and started killing Jedi. The dude was amazing. His backstory is amazing. Everything about him is
takes
amazing.
like a lot of
And
skill
also he
to
can
be
do that
able to use a
helicopter shit.
lightsaber and not be force sensitive.
Yeah.
No doubt. I mean, the guy was he was the top warrior of his clan, and his clan was a clan of warriors. So
That just goes to show.
yeah, he was. Yeah, and then they put him into a metal suit that augmented his abilities. So you take the best of the best of the best, and then put him in the best suit,
you want to be
and then put him
Grievous-
out to kill
Wait,
Jedi.
wait, wait.
You only need 2
The way-
sleeves.
The way you phrased that, do you remember Men in Black where
Very much so. Yes.
Will Smith's just
best
like,
of the best of the best, sir.
with honors.
With honors.
Captain America over here.
That's right.
I want a goodbye phrase that we all have to say at the same time at the end.
Smell you later.
Oh, I forgot to say
Stanko
Stanko
vision.
vision.
Stanko
I was going to
vision.
say, I forgot to say at the beginning of this episode, I meant to say, welcome to episode 3 of the list, brought to you by Stanko Vision. Because Stanko Vision lives in every episode from
okay,
now on.
Should we
should
say-
end it with Stanko vision.
Everybody.
Wait,
Hold on a
should we
second.
say at the
And
end?
Mackenzie gets the big credit for Stanko Vision.
Okay, hold on a second.
Should we say at the end how many subjects that how many pieces of paper we got to go?
Let's find out. I want to know. Sam, how many did you use?
I did none.
Sam used 0 out of 5. Yours go back in the hat.
Okay.
All right. Rod, how many did you use?
3.
3 out of 5. Not bad. Mackenzie.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Tasty goodness. Dean.
Not to put you down, Mackenzie.
Shit.
But I did 1.
1 out of 5. Okay, I want the other 4 you didn't use. Blake, how many did you use?
Oh, I managed 2.
2 out of 5. All right, well, that's good. That's good.
How many did you use?
The thing I like about that, I had 4 actually, and I used 3 of them.
All right.
So we're
So you're the
tied,
winner.
technically?
You're the winner. You got 4.
You're the winner.
You're the winner.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's take a vote, man.
Like it.
So once again, a successful and beautiful episode of the list. We're wrapping it up. See you next week. Keep your cosmos clean.
Bye, everyone.
Smell you later.
Auf Wiedersehen.
This episode of the list brought to you by Stankovision.
Stankovision!
You filthy, smelly bastards.
You stink.
Oh, that's stinky.
What smells that? Hey, you! Okay, so the ones I have in my hand right now are not used. The list is a conversational improv game. Each of our panel members has a list of topics and or phrases that were drawn from a hat. Their goal is to sneak those topics or phrases into the conversation. Another member of the panel, hearing thus, can say, "That's on your list." And if they're right, they get a point. You can bluff, or if they're wrong, you get a point. To become part of the list community, go to patreon.com/list. To contact any of us with your comments or questions, email listgames@cox.net, COX.